Welcome to Ask Davis. I am Davis, and on this channel we discuss retirement and personal finance in plain language. No jargon, no fluff, just what you actually need to know. Today, we are addressing a statistic that should concern every American within 10 years of retirement. 62% of respondents in a recent BlackRock survey had less than $150,000 saved for retirement, while the average amount people believe they need is around $2.1 million. If you are between 55 and 70, this is not a number you can afford to ignore. And I want to be clear, this is not a video designed to scare you. This is a video designed to show you exactly where the problem is and exactly what you can do about it. Let me start with what the data actually tells us, because numbers without context are just noise. According to the Federal Reserve's survey of consumer finances, the median retirement savings for Americans aged 55 to 64 is $185,000, not the average, the median. That means half of all Americans in that age group have less than that, and roughly 28% of Americans have nothing saved at all. Zero. Not a small amount, not a few thousand tucked away somewhere. Absolutely nothing. Now let me put that $185,000 in perspective using the most commonly cited benchmark from financial planners, the 4% withdrawal rule. If you have $185,000 and you withdraw 4% per year, that gives you $7,400 annually. That is $616 per month from your savings. In 2026, the average Social Security benefit for a retired worker is approximately $21,000 per year. So, add that together, and you are looking at roughly $28,400 per year, or about $2,366 per month. That is what the typical American in their late 50s or early 60s is on track to live on. Now compare that to actual expenses. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that the average household headed by someone 65 or older spends approximately $52,000 per year. That leaves an annual shortfall of roughly $23,600. And this is not a one-time gap. This is a gap that repeats every single year for potentially 25 to 30 years of retirement. Over 20 years, that shortfall compounds to nearly $500,000 you do not have. And here is what makes this worse. Healthcare costs are not static. They rise faster than general inflation. A 65-year-old couple retiring today is estimated to need approximately $315,000 just for healthcare expenses throughout retirement. And that does not include long-term care. So even if you think you are close to having enough, medical expenses alone could consume the majority of your savings. There is another dimension to this problem that most people overlook, and that is the psychological toll. The Northwestern Mutual 2026 Planning and Progress Study found that Americans now believe they need $1.46 million to retire comfortably. That is up more than 15% from last year, but nearly a quarter of those with retirement savings say they have just 1 year or less of their current annual income set aside. And 46% of Americans say they do not expect to be financially prepared for retirement at all. Nearly half of Americans think it is somewhat or very likely they will outlive their savings. Think about that for a moment. Nearly half of the country goes to bed at night genuinely worried that their money will run out before their life does. 43% of retirees in a separate Clever Real Estate survey said they would prefer to die rather than run out of money in retirement. That is not pessimism. That is desperation born from a lack of planning. And 51% of current retirees say they have no plan at all if their savings run out. No backup, no contingency, nothing. This is not an abstract economic problem. This is a crisis that affects how people sleep, how they eat, whether they see a doctor, and whether they can maintain any dignity in their final years. I want to pause here for a moment. If you're watching this and realizing that your numbers are closer to the national median than you would like, if you're in your late 50s or early 60s and the gap between what you have and what you need feels wider than you thought, I put together something called the 90-Day Protocol. Retire at 62 without regret. It is a step-by-step system built specifically for people in your exact situation, covering the kind of concrete planning we are discussing today in a way you can act on immediately. The link is in the first comment below. So what can you actually do about this? Let me give you 6 steps that move the needle, even if you are starting late. Step 1. Know your real number, not the national average. Sit down and calculate your actual monthly expenses, not what you think you spend, but what you actually spend. Include housing, food, transportation, insurance premiums, medications, subscriptions, and everything else. Multiply that monthly number by 12, then multiply by 25. That is a reasonable starting target for your retirement savings using the 4% rule. If your monthly expenses are $3,500, your target is $1.05 million. If your expenses are $2,800, your target is $840,000. Your number is personal. The national average is irrelevant to your life. Step 2. Maximize your catch-up contributions immediately. In 2026, if you are 50 or older, you can contribute up to $32,500 to your 401k. If you are between 60 and 63, the Secure 2.0 Act gives you an enhanced catch-up limit of $35,750. That is not a small amount. Every dollar you put in now reduces your taxable income today and compounds for however many years you have until retirement. If you have been contributing 10% of your salary, push it to 15%. If you can go higher, do it. Time is the one resource you cannot get back. And every month you delay is a month of compounding. You lose permanently. Step 3. Evaluate whether a Roth conversion makes sense for you right now. If you have a traditional IRA or 401k, and you expect your tax bracket to be the same or higher in retirement, converting some of that money to a Roth account means you pay taxes now at a known rate and withdraw tax-free later. This is especially powerful if you have a year where your income is lower. Perhaps you reduced hours, you changed jobs, or you are in a transition period. The tax savings over a 20 or 30-year retirement can be enormous. Consult a tax professional, but do not ignore this strategy simply because it involves paying taxes up front. Step 4. Delay Social Security if you can. Every year you delay claiming benefits past your full retirement age, your benefit increases by approximately 8% per year up to age 70. If your full retirement age benefit is $2,000 per month, waiting until 70 could push that to approximately $2,640 per month. Over a 20-year retirement, that is an additional $153,600. That single decision could close a significant portion of your savings gap. Now, I understand that not everyone can afford to delay. If you need the income to survive, you take it when you need it. But if you have other sources of income, a part-time job, a spouse who is still working, savings you can draw from temporarily, delaying even 1 or 2 years makes a measurable difference. Step 5. Eliminate high-interest debt before you retire. Carrying a credit card balance at 20% interest or a card loan at 7% into retirement is the equivalent of setting your savings on fire. Every dollar you pay in interest is a dollar that is not working for you. If you are within 5 years of retirement and you still carry consumer debt, make eliminating it your highest financial priority, above even additional investing. A guaranteed return of 20% by eliminating credit card debt beats any stock market return you could hope for. Step 6. Consider whether your housing situation is working for you or against you. For many Americans over 60, their home is their single largest asset, but it is also their single largest expense. Property taxes, maintenance, insurance, and utilities on a home that was right for a family of 4 may not make sense for a household of 2. Downsizing or relocating to a lower-cost area can free up hundreds of thousands of dollars in home equity and simultaneously reduce your monthly expenses by 30 to 40%. This is not about sacrifice. This is about reallocating resources so your money lasts as long as you do. Here is the bottom line. 62% of Americans are on pace to fall short, but being part of a statistic and accepting it are two very different things. The gap between where you are and where you need to be is not fixed. It responds to decisions you make today. The 6 steps I outlined are not theoretical. They are concrete actions that real people take to close real gaps. You do not need to do all 6 at once, but you need to start with at least one of them this week. Not next month, not next year, This week, I would like to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Where do you stand right now? Are you confident in your retirement number, or did today's video reveal a gap you did not know was there? Which of the 6 steps are you going to tackle first? If this was useful, please subscribe and leave a like. It helps the channel and it means more content like this one. This is Davis. I will see you in the next one.